Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I'm Madalyn, and today, as always, we have lots to discuss. School has rolled out the new live stream feature. We've been playing around with it. It's super cool. They even have some new updates since it launched last week. So I'm going to talk about that because live streaming is such a powerful way to bring your community together. We're also going to watch a quick little walkthrough video from our friend Jim Fuse that shows you exactly how this new live stream feature works. So for those of you that have your own school community, or if you've been thinking about starting one, I want to make sure you know how all of this works. And on top of that, if you haven't heard yet, YouTube has just released a ton of new features. It's just all the talk right now over there. And so I'm going to discuss some of that with you all, so at least you're aware of what's happening with that and how these new updates affect us creators. Doesn't matter if you're have a big account or a small account. They actually have a lot of new features geared for the small YouTube creator. So we got lots to talk about with that. If you're new here, hi, I'm Madalyn Sklar. I help content creators, marketers, entrepreneurs, people that are looking to get more done in less time when it comes to their social media and AI. Because let's face it, we're also overloaded. There's just too much information out there. So I'm just trying to make it a little bit easier so you're not so overloaded. So anyway, let's say hello to all of our panelists that are here with us today. Hello, everybody. I love our group. How are y'all doing?
Hi.
Great. This is fun.
It
I
is
love being on
fun.
the show. Yeah, these conversations always unfold interesting new things that we didn't even know we were going to talk about sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, let's just like last week, we just talked about all kinds of things. You just never know. That's
Yeah.
how I like to roll. Like y'all know, for like gazillion years with my Smarter Twitter chat during this 1 hour, Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern, it used to be very structured. We always had a guest. We always had the list of questions, but it was still an amazing time on a Twitter chat, but it was so super structured. And then when I switched to Spaces, which was a lot more fun, just doing live audio, I still kept a structure for a while. Then I got to the point, it's like, you know what, let this be more free flowing. Still lots of great information. Actually, side note, my very first Twitter chat was actually before my Twitter Smarter. I started in 2011, and there was no structure. It was for back when I was working with independent musicians, the indie artists, the really great musicians that should be on the radio, but they're not because they're not on some big label. And I hosted a weekly Twitter chat for that group. Every week we did this, and it was just whatever everybody wanted to talk about. So there was no structure, and it was an amazing chat. People loved it. So I kept it that way for the whole time I ran that for years and years. And I feel like I'm kind of back to my roots with like doing all this. Like I have an outline, I have some things that I've come across to talk about, but also, some of you may have some interesting things to share that have to do with social media or AI, or just some new tool you came across that you think others would love to hear about. And I just love the whole organic nature of discussions like this.
Yes, yes, yes. I was in litigation for a long time, and sometimes when we know what we're talking about, we can explain it in a way that seems so easy. Oh, you just push this.
Right.
And it can cause a lot of anxiety for people. So I think this is a fun way to present your information because you are so knowledgeable. If I don't understand something, I'll ask
And I
on
love
this
that.
show in the hopes of helping other people, of course. Yeah, because you never know. There are different ways to explain the same exact thing. Yeah, so I love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I just love our group here. I love that y'all come on when you're available to come be part of this discussion. And Bez, I understand you have an announcement you wanted to make before we jump into all the latest stuff going on.
Yes.
Yes. And just in case I have a little graphic, but you let me know if I can share it. But anyways,
Yeah.
the U.S. I can. Okay. Today is, well, we started a couple days, 3 days ago. Today is or it's part of National Hispanic Heritage Month that goes from September 15th to October 15th. And something that I'm very proud of, I'm very proud of a lot of things, being half Puerto Rican and half Peruvian. born here in the United States, but having my mom and dad that came from another country, is that you know the U.S. Latino has surpassed the $4 trillion um, $4 trillion in GDP. So it's something I just wanted to share that. And here, let me just share it with you real quick. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Let me. Yes, there it
Uh,
is.
okay, and basically right here, number 5, if they were nation state, Japan being number 4, India being number 6. So that's pretty
Wow,
big deal, and I'm super excited. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that really quick, and
that's
I'll take
awesome.
it down here. But yeah, happy National Hispanic Heritage Month, and
That is
there
so
we go.
cool. Thank you for
Hispanic
sharing that.
power.
Thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
Great.
Very nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we love it's just part of our community, having others share things that are important to them that is just community is awesome. I love communities and I
it
love this
is.
community. And speaking of, y'all don't forget we have our school platform. We're going to be talking about school in just a bit, but social media and AI shortcuts. What we do here is a weekly live stream, but the conversation continues over here. So be sure to sign up. It's free to join. Go to school.com/Madalyn Scholar. And Jim, you started your good to see you, by the way, Jim. You started a new community over there. How's that been going?
I haven't done as much as I should. I'm more spending time seeing what you're doing because you're a great mentor and role model. So I'm going to do
Thank you.
some of those things as well. But I need to put a little bit more in my classroom before I do it. But it's definitely going to be focused on helping people with, well, I'll just say video in general because it doesn't have to be live streaming. Because even right now, if we were just having a meeting, right, it's people learning about their backgrounds and how they sound and how you can do it in multiple places. In fact, even later this evening, I'm going to actually be assisting my brother-in-law. He is running for Congress, and he's going to be at an event, and I'm going to stream it on his Substack. So
Nice.
I'm going to be actually physically there. So that'll be interesting and doing the tech in person with a group of people. So it'll be fun. And
That is awesome. That
How
is
do you do
great.
that? Do you do that through the app or through another setup?
I'm debating which to do. I may just take my MacBook, and I have like this camera here that I'm using. It's an Instalink 360. So I can stick it on a tripod, and because it's a PTZ camera, I can just flip the orientation, have it look at where he is and zoom in and out. And I'm going to have wireless mics, so that won't be an issue for the audio. And so I may do it in StreamYard or Ecamm and just push it to both YouTube and Substack. And so then we'll have the recordings to repurpose.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Hey, Bez, can the thing you were showing, it's not letting me remove it. Probably because you're an admin.
Okay.
Probably because you're an admin.
Shoot. Let me
Just
It
hit stop sharing.
It just clutters up. I'm surprised it won't let me do it.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm thinking it's because you're an admin, Bez.
I thought you took it down. I was like, oh, one less thing
No,
I have
I
to
took
do.
it off the screen, but it won't let me because it clutters up the part I see
Okay,
on
I
the
took it
bottom here.
down. Yeah.
Thank
Can I
you.
ask Jim a question about live streaming?
Absolutely. And I am gonna show his video that he posted on Substack of how to live stream on school.
Perfect. And on school, when you go live, you download it so that you have it and you
If you
can
want to
use it
record
other
it.
places if you want to.
If you record, because you don't have to record, though. Actually, the ones I've been doing, I'm not recording them.
Right.
Because the ones I've been doing have been more of a support group. But if you record, you have to download the video, and if you want to have it posted, you got to upload it. But that's what they're working on now, so that the next iteration will be it can automatically do that if you want it to.
Right. I just wanted to say, because in the podcast community that I have for years now, I've been doing live streams on a weekly basis through Well, I was using Zoom, I guess, so I could save some of them, but then it wouldn't let me anymore use Zoom. So then I just started relying on Facebook to go live,
Yeah.
but now they're all disappearing.
Yeah.
So I just
you only
wanted
get
to
30 days.
comment, so people are aware of that. In the old days, you could go live and it would live on your community
Right.
forever. And so I could tell people, go look at the live streams from, a month ago. Now
Right.
they're not there. So now I do have to take this extra step to figure
Gotcha.
out how I'm retaining control over those live streams so I
Let me give
can
you a
save
workaround
them.
though. If you want to have a way to save them somewhere, you could always have it on YouTube and put it as unlisted or private,
Yeah.
which I've
Yeah.
done. The good thing is, like, when we're like right now, we're live streaming all over the place. Well, yeah, in 30 days, Facebook's going to remove this live stream.
Mhm.
That's just what they do. That's their new policy.
Yeah.
But YouTube lives on. I mean, you could go back and see older live streams of this, of my other live streams I do on other things that I host. I love that with YouTube. YouTube makes it so easy to go back and find old videos.
Right. Now, why is that? Why is YouTube different? Because X also is starting to remove my live streams. I was assuming they're running out of space, which makes sense, but why doesn't YouTube?
Well, there's a couple differences. I think the biggest thing with YouTube is they have advertisers, they have sponsors, and so that's where they're bringing in revenue. No different than
Good
even
point.
LinkedIn brings in revenue from people having subscriptions.
Mhm.
Facebook, even though technically they have some of that, I think they're seeing the expense that they didn't want to spend the money on server space.
Mhm.
And so I think that's how they're getting around it. Because if you upload, because you could upload your live after the fact to
Right.
Facebook and it'll last, but
Yes.
you're losing a lot of the functionality because now you just have the video and not all the comments that went along with it, like if it was live.
Right.
So I think X may be some of that as well. I know several platforms. I think Agora Pulse might even be one of them as well. Didn't want to pay the API fee, so you're seeing a lot of companies that you could go live to those platforms. Like, well, we don't want to pay that just to give you access to that platform. So I think, to Madalyn's point, YouTube is great. School is going to be interesting because even if you think about it, if I start a school community at $9, they're still making $9. Right? I mean, it may cost a lot more than that ultimately for them to do this, but right now, to Madalyn's point, right, if you want to record it, you have to download it. If you want to repurpose it, because even like the one I did, that was a screen record. That was not something I recorded in school and kept. I just did like we did with Madalyn's test we did last week. We were live, but she never put
didn't
it
record
anywhere.
it. Right. Because otherwise a live would be in there.
It was just a test. That's why I
Right.
just wanted to play, and we didn't have a whole lot of time. But I also hosted a live stream on my other school community, my Kratom Real Talk, and because I've been wanting to like do something like a support group. I just didn't want to do the whole Zoom thing. So I was waiting patiently for school to have this. So what I did this past weekend is I did a test with that, and it was just more of like a hangout for an hour. I decided not to record it because it's a new thing, and just making sure I just want people comfortable to come on and talk because it's more of a personal thing, not a business thing. And they all agreed, like, yeah, let's not record these because then they just feel a little bit more comfortable that it's not going to live on, even though it's a private community. But still, it's like if you're able to come to this, and it worked great. It was a great way to have that support group kind of thing in an environment where we're already on school. We already have lots of conversations. Now it's like this just enhances the community even more now that we have that.
How many people can you get on the screen in a community in school? Do you know?
Barb and I have talked, we're not 100% sure, but you can have unlimited people on the live, but as far as how many show up,
Right.
Barb, what's the number?
Well, so far I've counted 15. Let's see, there are 5 across and three rows. It'd be 15. But I think the one time I counted 18. I've
seen a lot.
But again,
screenshots like
yeah.
crazy. So
And again, if you have 200 people in your community and they
Mhm.
all show up for the live stream, they're going to be on there, just not on the screen at the same
It'll
time.
be
You have
like
to
Zoom.
scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
like
made it
scroll
like
like Zoom.
Zoom where you're gonna
Yeah.
see a whole bunch, but then you gotta
Right.
scroll through to see
But
others.
everyone can participate.
100%.
yeah, I may
100%.
have that.
I'm curious too, Madalyn. I don't know if you've tried this yet. This is Bez and I were talking the other day, because when you go into your chat, it like will give you the ability like copy this link to invite people. So my curiosity is, could I take that link and invite someone not in school to
You can.
join?
So
Yeah,
okay, so on last, school every week they do like a video showing like
right.
the latest updates on what they're working on. They showed it in last week's video on their school news that you can grab that link, send it to anyone. So if they're not already a member, the thing will come up to show them that this calendar event's going on and that they can join.
So they don't have to actually
Right.
register to be a part of your school to be.
No,
a
they
part
have
of
to
the
join school. It just
They
like
have
Oh,
to
okay.
join, yeah.
Okay.
it's
They
just
have to have
it's just
an
yeah.
account.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a starting point for them to come join, but it shows that, what you invited them to, but that they gotta join school, your school to go
Okay.
to it, which I
Which
thought was brilliant.
Yeah, and I'm so glad we're talking about this and you're familiarizing us with school, because over the years, I get all excited about a new platform and then I start to convince people to join it so that they can participate, and then the thing fails. So this is great to see and give me confidence to invite people, because it is a pain. Nobody, people out there don't really want to go on to another platform, but if we can show that it's stable and reliable, that's the key. So I love it. Yeah. So far, so good. Definitely with school.
I'm so glad. I mean, I've been on school for about 3 years now, and because somebody that had a community I wanted to join, and she was using it, and it was a lot different. Not as many features, not as many people using it yet. And I didn't really like the gamification part of it at first. I know we talked about it in our school, our social media and AI school. We had chatting about that. And when I first saw that gamification, which is really just how you can level up, the more you participate, then you get points for your comments and likes, people liking your stuff and commenting on your stuff. And if you're active, then yeah, you build up these points and then you hit these milestones and you level up. And when you as the owner of the community, I could set it so that, okay, at level 3, I can offer this at level 4. So there's a community I'm in where when you get like way up on the level, you get to have a one-on-one consult that she normally charges a ton of money for, but it's a perk of that being active in the community. And it's not just go like everybody and just put dumb posts to get people to comment and like you. Is
Right.
be a real active participant. And she even had limits like, if you were going to post to the community, you couldn't do, I think, more than twice a day. Like trying to make it so that people don't try to gamify the gamification.
And monopolize it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you're explaining this, because that word gamification, I automatically think it doesn't apply to me because I'm not a gamer. I tend to think, I didn't realize what that word meant in terms of social media interaction. And it is just tracking your participation, basically.
Yeah. Now I have not activated it. Like, it's something I've seen how other people do it, but like right now in the social media and AI shortcuts, like I'm at level 6 because I run it, but they have 9 levels. And like level 1, when you first join, everybody's at level 1 is 80% of the members currently in mine. And then as you participate, you go up on the points. And so I could set it so that like right now nobody's gotten to level 5. Barb is about to get there.
I'll get busy.
And so it's like, well, but this was the kind of thing where I wanted to wait until it got more active and then got feedback from everybody. Like, what would you like at level 5? So, like, what could I offer, at these levels?
Is that where we start, is level 5, you think? Because there are 9 levels.
Yeah.
So maybe
You start at level
5.
1.
Well, I think first it just depends, like what kind of things like would y'all want as a perk. I think the top one would be like some kind of, like a one-on-one
Auditing our
session.
accounts or something, our profiles, something like that.
auditing your account.
Yeah.
Also, at a certain level, then you're available to participate in a special group chat that's just for the people at that got reached that level. It can be a variety of things. I just am definitely curious, what kind of perks, and it's not something like everybody has to on the spot think of stuff, but be
Well,
thinking of
first,
it, because I definitely want feedback from everybody.
I spent a lot of time researching the gamification after I saw that in 1 month, I'm not going to mention the name of what account it is or anything, but literally in 1 month, he went from 1 member to over 100,000. And I was like, you
Wow.
gotta be kidding me. How are you doing that?
What was he
And
giving
so,
away? Yeah.
and it's, it's a whole masterclass on how he achieved it. And I just thought, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to discuss this. If Madalyn is on board with the gamification thing, I am going to discuss it in her group or in her
Which you did.
community.
Yeah, I'm showing you
And
right
so
now.
the very first thing I did, and I asked, I put a post in here, and I'll just tell you about my efforts in posting in her group, because I didn't even realize I was number 1 for some time. And then after this research this weekend, I found out I'm top in a lot of in some the other groups I
You
am.
are very active.
Well, except for the one where I'm getting this other training about how he did it and so forth. And I thought, well, that is a way I can add value to Madalyn's community and my
Well,
own. And you
right.
have to be thinking like that. And so I put that in Madalyn's today because I saw where they had been in the 100K plus group that he'd been putting this stuff in. And I thought, okay, now I get it. Because also, if you, Madalyn, if you still have that screen active, you can see on my profile, there's a couple of things there. Okay, on this, like I'm at number 4, like she said. So, and she's already described that she, as the owner of her group, can build a reward system for reaching different levels. But it has, it's actually from me, see it saying, oh, you've only got 2 points to go. So I'm thinking, well, I can just go like a post in there. No, you can't. You have to contribute to conversation. You have to contribute to the quality of the group. It's not just
It's not liking. It's
you can't be scrolling and like.
Yeah, it's you posting, you commenting, and people liking. When people like what you post, your comments, that gets you a point. But you just liking a bunch of people's stuff doesn't do it.
Well, and it's interesting because it depends on the content, what the purpose of the community is. Because I find in the kind of content that I'm about, a lot of people don't want to participate. They actually do find it. The reason I have is because it's relaxing. It's for them to de-stress. And so adding that wouldn't be appropriate for my community. Probably that would feel like pressure to them. But it depends.
Pressure. It depends on
No, I know.
Like I go to a lot of groups and I don't have the time to be super active, but I want to be there to get the content and information.
Right.
And I think it's great that, they're utilizing, because not everybody's utilizing that school feature with the leaderboards and having perks. But I love that the ones that do, because it's like, it gives me ideas, but it's rewarding those who are taking a vested interest in this group that you created. So
and as an admin, it helps to know who's truly interested instead of just floating around a little bit. Like then you'll know from their comments how to shape your content as you go forward too. It helps you build what you're responding to and how you're behaving on there too. I think it's both ways. It helps to give the admin.
On any school that anybody is already in, you just go to the page. Like right now, I'm on social media and AI shortcuts at the top with your navigation. You'll see leaderboards, and it'll show you here to let you know where you're at and how many points until you level up. And then if they're, unlocking at the different features, it lets you know, so you know what to strive for. And then you scroll down to see, so like this is with our group right now, but I can go to someone else's group, but out of respect for privacy, I'm not going to do that on this live live
You
stream.
can see somebody
But
else's stats like that
I'm in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can go to
that you are in. Yeah.
other groups I'm
Right.
in, or public groups that are fully public where anybody can see it.
Hmm.
But and I love that they do 7-day, 30-day, and all time. Because it just shows like eh, what people like, how active they are, and people come and go in communities. So there's
Yeah.
definitely people on the all-time leaderboard that we haven't seen in a while.
Right.
And they're just it just means they're not active right now. And that's okay. I mean, I don't look at it as some kind of big competition. People can make it a competition to themselves and with others to help motivate them to do it. But people shouldn't feel as a whole like, oh my gosh, I have to do this to be a
Right.
part of this. I see it as this is a nice bonus perk to being in this community, but it's optional if the host of the group wants to even offer it. And I haven't
Right.
done it yet, but mostly just because I need to get a better idea of what kind of things people would want.
Well, I have to say, I kind of wish Facebook worked like that a little better,
Yeah.
because in my podcasting community, everyone just wants to splatter their links to their shows, and they're not interacting. So AI is helping a little bit now, kind of help me monitor, but it's a pain. I don't want people to post unless they make a comment on somebody else's posts. They don't look around and notice other people are also creating. They're forgetting. So this would be a nice way to encourage them, or actually prevent them from posting unless they engaged first. I would work it like that.
Do you have rules? Do you
I
have rules
do.
set up in your? Okay. Yeah, they
Yes.
don't read them, and then sometimes I
I
have a
know.
small 300 people group, and what I did is I reached out to some offenders, and I just sent them a message. Hey, belong to the group because they're promoting everything.
Yeah.
Please, and I try to make it like set a certain vibe.
No,
And
literally, yeah. Bez, it
it's-
has 25,000 people in it.
oh my goodness.
And so over a course of a year, probably for a while, once a week, I would send out or do even a live stream to explain.
Oh,
In
wow.
order to post, you got to be nice to someone else. And it's just repetitive with that many people and so many people joining.
Are you the
so
only
often.
Are you the only moderator on it? Do you got help?
I'm the only admin, but I have a couple of moderators, and those
Okay.
fluctuate, and I haven't had time to spend on the community very much. I was starting to get burned out because it's
Wow.
hard to keep encouraging them. I won't let their post go on there if it's just a link to their podcast. They have to actually say hello and show a little bit of interest in the community in order to post. And that's a really hard thing for people to understand on that end. So that podcasting is opposite of the meditation. In the meditation world that I also have communities in, there is no way I'm going to say you have to come in and say something. You absolutely can just absorb the information and the content that I'm putting out there. It's very different. Two different vibes, opposite ends. Yeah.
Madalyn, I have a different problem. I've got 4 people in my school community.
Yeah.
Because it's a
But we
paid.
all started there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And it's easy to
Absolutely.
start one, whether it's you make it a free or paid community.
Right.
When I first started the social media and AI shortcuts, I actually started it first being a paid. And it's always interesting because when you talk to people, yeah, I'd sign up for that. And then you go set it up and then, nothing, crickets, right? And I wasn't spending a ton of time on it, but I got such a small number of people that truly were interested enough to pay. But I thought, when they have the subscription tiers, which is coming next, that's going to be a game changer. And so I decided, like last year, like, let me just revert this back to free. So it's just a free community. Let me build that up. And then eventually school will have the subscription tiers. And once and so that's next. That's what they're working on next. That's going to be coming, I think, next month. And that's going to allow you to either because actually a lot of people have a free school and a paid. They have 2 of them. They're paying for 2 separate schools at $99 a month. Because the $9 a month is new. So a lot of people were paying $99 a month for 2 separate, so they can have a free one and a paid one. And the paid is the upsell one. Well, now it'll be, you have your free, which is the one you really work and you get people to, and that's not as hard to do. And then inside of that, you can offer on the free, you could have, it'll be two paid tiers. So you could have like the free, like something that's kind of in the middle, and then an upper tier, right? So you have 3. Or if you're going to keep it just all paid and not a free one, but just paid, the new way you'll be able to do it is have 3 different paid, kind of like Patreon. It's just like Patreon. So you'd be able to have like, okay, the lowest is like, $10, $9.99. Then you can have an upper tier for like $25 and another one for $99. Like you'll have that flexibility. It'll be 3 total, free and 2 paid, or just all 3 paid.
But even right now, don't you have certain things in there that we can pay for?
The classroom,
right? The one-on-one coaching,
yeah.
mastermind.
And that's something they've always, well, they added that. I mean, they've had it for a long time now, but yes, in the class, so you could have a free or paid, but in the classroom, you can have things that you charge for, like one-offs.
Yeah, because that does it right there a little bit
Like
too.
I have inside of this social media and AI shortcuts, if you want to do like book a 1-hour consult with me, you can do it right inside there. And what's smart about, if you have your own school community, a great reason why you should do it that way, because how do you normally do it? You go like send them to PayPal or Stripe or whatever, or you're technically doing it through your Patreon. With school, you're paying the absolute lowest cost for this, because they're not taking anything. It's just the 2.9% Stripe, and that's it. Whereas Patreon takes an additional, a lot of the others take on top of, Circle and some of the other community platforms. They're not doing it. School did like a whole news segment all about it about a month or 2 ago. They are truly they did a comparison of all of them. They're truly the lowest, because they're not taking a cut. They're not even taking, they're just facilitating it through Stripe and then just paying you, like they're not keeping any of it. But when you read the fine print with the others, they're keeping quite a bit. It's 2.9% processing fee, credit card processing on top of, like go look at Patreon and some of the others. It's some of it is worded really weird to make you think you're not paying, but you are. I'll have to find that video, because Sam Evans from school, he broke it all down and it really makes sense.
Excellent.
So, yeah. Any other questions with this before we move on? Bez, you were
now we're at 33 minutes.
You're doing good. You're like the timer. I love it.
Yeah.
Keep on time. So let me tell y'all a few more things going on with the latest with school and with the live stream, because again, this just came out last week. And the reason why I was spending so much time talking about school, because for the people watching this, I know a lot of people have Facebook groups or they have some way of bringing people together, right? You want to have a place where the platform can't decide to censor you or remove your group. I mean, look at all the groups that Facebook has shut down. They shut down a whole bunch of AI groups, supposedly by accident. Well, one of them had like 300,000 people in it. And a Facebook group for people talking about AI. And I think a lot of this is a wake-up call. You need to have this on a platform where you control. I know we've talked about Substack a lot, and Substack has a lot of community elements to it. It's free. It takes like basically the way Jim's doing it is what I want to be doing. Is it can be your website, it's your newsletter. People come together as a community inside of it. It's a brilliant platform. I'm so impressed with where Substack has gone. But places like that, or a school, things where you have the control, and not something like a Facebook group where they sit here and just remove stuff, or nobody sees your posts in the group because nobody's getting the notifications because of the way the algorithm works. There's like always something where people are just not getting the info. It's like, well, what's the point of having this? Yeah, Marie.
Why have both? Do you need Substack and school? What's the
school
bonus?
is like community. Whereas when I look at Substack is people. So like with me having I still need to build my now, and I'm working on it. I haven't forgotten. I've been busy. But people are going to come to my Substack because they want to hear from Madalyn Sklar and they want to see what Madalyn Sklar is posting. But in the process, if you're using it like Jim does, all everybody has to do, hold on, let me bring up his link. I still have it saved in here. Go follow Jim on Substack because he's doing it right. He brings people together and is so smart, Jim, the way you do this, because on the business side, it's a lot like the people you're connecting with are people that are either interested in my stuff or would be interested, and vice versa, right? And so you've really dialed in on that, like the importance of community through Substack. And a lot of people do not understand. They haven't gotten it. It hasn't clicked yet. But the way you will post somebody's content and like repost it in there and link to them, and then do a post where you link like a group of people, like, you know, if you haven't checked out, so, and then a little blurb about each one. And people are finding each other from that. And very similar to like Facebook, like, oh, who's this person that Jim's talking about? Oh, I really connect with, this sounds like I need to go follow them. I need to join their newsletter. It's really, so there's the community aspect that I see in Substack, but not the level of something like school.
Right.
School
X is a mess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like how you said that.
Yeah, and the other thing I just discovered, Madalyn, on accident, and I'm going to have to do a video about when I was showing Bez some things the other day. So it was one thing that you know, that it creates clips for you with your video, right? But now you can actually, I didn't realize this. So if I go in to even one of the videos I previously posted as a post, I can go in as if I'm going to edit it. It'll pull up the whole video and I can make new clips. So I can actually go anywhere in the video and say, make this a clip, and it'll download it. It'll caption it. You can go into the transcription part and like correct spellings and other things. So now it becomes
like a descript.
Yeah,
like a descript.
It's like, instead of using Opus Clips, I just use Substack, and it's free.
That is so cool, because I love Opus Clip and I have that, but I can't wait to try that out because that sounds interesting. Yep. That sounds really cool.
So in the future, I didn't have a chance to do it today because I got back late from rucking, and but if I were to stream this to my Substack, right, adding it as a destination here, it goes into drafts. So I could even say, hey, Madalyn, here's the video if you want to post it to your Substack, and then you could create a blog post. But I could also just take clips, and it's like, if you want to watch the full session, here's the link to whichever, right, the YouTube or whatever. But it goes back to that whole community aspect of taking that video and sharing it in other places.
So I've got to speak up, because Jim, thank God you joined us in Madalyn's group. But I mean,
we go way back.
We all go way back, but you're one sharp kind of guy. And the thing about what I was trying to share in my immediate sphere of influence, I told you I can hardly sleep over these last 7 days, you know, because I could see the difference. And I was in that live earlier this morning, and I said, you need to watch what we're doing on Madalyn's live episode today, because I'm telling you, the world's changing.
Yes.
The reason we need Substack primarily at the moment is the newsletter feature. Core feature, that's what we need. Because I knew Substack was there over a couple years ago, because I have many friends who are best-selling authors. And for authors, who, you know, that writing their books and so forth, that is great. It is a community also, if you make it that. Jim is number one in that, because he figured out, if I can go live in there and I can connect with them right away, it's going to help. It's like we've all been there and done that. But if people can actually press a button and just connect with you right away, it means all the difference in the world. And so I told my sphere of influence, you need Substack and you need school. Well, that's 2 new things. I'll give you feedback. What they gave me is like, it's 2 new things I got to learn now. We're going into the fall. How can I don't have enough time. I'm doing
get rid of the other stuff. That's
right. And I said, now is the time to set your priorities. Yep. We are going into this final quarter. And I said, we know that things are happening on Facebook that we don't like. And the most important, and I am all about community. I'm not about Facebook. I'm not about Substack. And I'm not about school. It's always been about online community. Because if you have a good online community, it will spill over into community in what I used to always
100%.
refer in the real world.
And
And so,
100%.
and I think starting with Madalyn's group is the core, because it's like, well, Barb, you have all those experiences. I said, right. But Madalyn had, from the start that she's got up from on the school side of it, I felt like, it's not important to be number one on the stage in any of these places. It's important to contribute your knowledge, share your knowledge, get the feedback, and so forth and so on. And, I've said it before, I'm a wee bit older than you all. And I know that one of the things you have to be concerned about in building any community is that it will go on after you. And the number one thing that Facebook did wrong is they didn't allow change in ownership of the communities that were being developed. And they still have not got that straight. And that's why over this weekend, those last 4 days, I couldn't get any sleep, because I saw how those boys worked it and how it could work and how it could work major fast. One of the advantages you have in getting a hobby or pro version is you get into the schoolers community. And that's where you need to be. I'm telling you, the brainiacs of online community development and sustainment are in there.
They are.
And
It's a great, yeah.
the
You automatically.
OGers that knew me from back in the 80s, they're there. They're all going, wow, I can't believe this. And so then when I found the gamification and how it worked and why it worked, because you can win hundreds of thousands of dollars just working with the owners of this platform. If you really want to get in there and understand what's going on. And
there's
all
school
I can
games.
do, one of the things, when you get in anything you're marketing, it always gets down to cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. When you can hear the cha-ching, 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 everybody wins. And it was happening within that environment, just visiting it. It was happening so fast, it scared me.
Madalyn?
It really has. It's I've watched this progression of school, because like I've said before, I've been in there for like 3 years, and watching where it's at now is incredible. But I want to play this video clip from this week's school news, because there's a short clip where they did towards the end where they're talking about, quote, ditching the baggage, meaning with school, you can get rid of all that baggage, your website, your email address, your sales funnels. And this blurb they do is brilliant. So I'm going to play this. I can't believe, this is an amazing discussion. We're already like 45 minutes in. So I'm going to have to cut out a few things today, but let me play this clip, because
we'll get to it next week.
Yeah, this is so good. So watch this.
Ditching the baggage or business baggage. So, we noticed this theme. It's interesting with communities. Sometimes there is these themes where like multiple people are kind of tapped into the same thing.
Yep.
But I saw this post first. Website moved to school. Has anyone moved their website over here? And then this guy's like, I don't use my website at all anymore. And a lot of people are, basically realizing that they don't have a website anymore.
Yes.
And it's really interesting, because I went through this same experience. I used to have a website like samovens.com. Now it just redirects to my school profile. But it was such a relief to not have a website anymore, because you've generally got a website and it's out of date and you're like, oh.
Yeah, there's enough stuff to run without all of this extra stuff.
The other one is an email list. That's another thing you've got that you're always like, oh, I should send an email. Like,
I should be sending more email.
See, that's another thing I think a lot of people don't think about with their school community they're running. You're allowed to send out an email that blasts out to your whole community once every 72 hours. So like every 3 days. So that way it's not overused. And this live stream we're doing right now, I do a weekly recap in school of this, and then I send it out as the email blast. So it goes to everybody. And it's an amazing feature. And I use it for my other school community as well. And it's being careful not to overuse it, but like being able to like, wow, instead of having to do my email, is if you're building, and I mean, we're still in a place where a lot of us need both, you know, like we have it, like if you're newer to using school or some community platform and you're able to do an email blast, you may not be at a place where it's an either or, like you want to hit both. So I still do the newsletter and that, but as the school community builds and builds and builds, I think you really get to a point where you can consolidate it as your form of your emails, your newsletter, doing it you're doing it as a school post. But I thought that was interesting. I'll play a little bit more of this, but it's just, I love that he brings up the email feature, because I don't think a lot of people realize like how powerful that feature is.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are ditching websites and email lists and funnels. And
yeah, that's a good comment. The last one, AJ says, social media is basically your website nowadays.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on school, like they've got a YouTube or an Instagram or any social profile, and then a school community. And that's really all you need.
Yes.
Because you've got like your traffic source and then you've got, your community and where you're making money. And I think I asked you ditched your website, you ditched your email list.
Yeah, best feeling ever.
I downloaded my email list to a CSV file and then put it in Google Drive.
I did the same.
And then deleted my...
Just in case I'll ever want it.
So it's still there.
Yeah. The other thing is, what's school's open rate on emails? It's way higher than you'd get from your personal email list.
Yep. And this one was pretty interesting too. She said she moved everything over. She used to have a website, email, funnels, blog, courses.
Yeah.
And then she also had saved her things to like Google Docs just in case.
Just in case. That's the mindset.
And she wanted to start fresh.
Yes.
And then this person, Maria, was saying the same thing. I moved over and went minimalist.
Yeah.
It feels lighter. Yeah, it felt so bloated.
Yeah,
all these automation sequences, blah, blah. People, I swear, the way it used to be, the old way, it was just too much stuff.
100%. If you listen to the advice that everyone gives, you end up just having so much stuff. It feels so heavy.
Imagine having a YouTube, an Instagram, a TikTok,
Yep.
and a
Email
blog,
list.
an email list,
Yeah, with sequences,
multiple funnels,
email
lead
sequences,
magnets, ads, automations.
Yeah. And you need a lead magnet for each piece of content you make to make it specific for that piece of content.
I wanted to play that because that was a great addition to that their weekly news of just reminding people this really turns into an all-in-one platform.
Right. I love that. And I tried the email for the first time yesterday. I mean, it was mind-blowing. And I thought, wow, it has the bells and whistles that we have asked for on all these other platforms. And it's got it right now, and they're improving on it every day. I mean, it is one, I attended it live in Zoom, the school news update this week. I don't think I'll do that again because, I mean, they are just listening to them, just like we listen to the video here. And I don't think it's worth my time to watch it live. But to be there, he has the upload to YouTube within a couple hours on there, and you can go through it there at your convenience. But this whole thing of being able, when they said about getting rid of your websites, right away I got, that's the first red flag I've had because of this. They own school. Substack owns Substack. They are separate companies, and you are a separate company like me at Barb T or mywestward.com. That's mine. So the only thing between me, my company, and internet connections, I'm responsible for that server space that connection to the internet, and I'm still there. So what we need is a minimalist website, in that it is basically, like the link in bio thing that, or link tree. It's just basically the links to our school destination, and making sure that we just have brief stuff on there to be findable in whoever's index, if it's still Google or if it's just ChatGPT or whatever they're going to do to try and find us. But and also for us offline, because the shorter is still better.
Yeah.
Because my school thing, like I told you my story, and so I use a link from my domain to it, so I could change that at any time. So I think we're a lot further off than just dispensing of our domains. And the logic to me when I was watching it, I said, well, you guys aren't as old as I am.
But you can redirect the domain to your school.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought, but you control that. So if school does change, I mean, they may be bought out by someone you don't like. That's happened to us before in our adventures together.
But I still find it a better alternative than to like one of your, like, because some people like to have their domain go to one of their social media platforms, wherever they're most popular at. And I would not recommend. I mean, people were doing that back in the MySpace days.
Yeah,
which, 20 years ago, it was insane. People were like, I'm ditching the website. I'm just having my domain, my .com, go to my MySpace. I'm like, well, I don't think that's a good idea.
But and I just thought of this, and I know, like Rachel, I'm looking at her site on Substack, and she has a tab to her podcast. Well, you could have a tab that comes directly to your school. And so that's where I think the whole, to their point, like Substack becomes my website, because you can pay to have a custom domain there too. I think it's a one-time charge of, is it $50?
So that means
Rachel?
they could point our domains to it, probably, because that's the way the others act. So
yeah. And so, yeah, if you just click on her little Rachel media, right there. And that's going to bring up her.
Yeah. So you're able to set up like a navigation in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I see podcast.
Yeah, we're not seeing that because you got to switch the window for.
Oh, yeah, it opened up a pop-up. I hate when it does that. Hold on.
I just want to make a quick comment, because Barb was saying on the school watching the live stream, this video here that Madalyn does, it is worth watching the live stream, because you can type in questions while this conversation is happening. So you can, obviously, this show is not scripted in any way. We can see your comments and your questions. So if there's something that you want Madalyn to really address in these weekly shows, come to the live for sure, so you can get your questions in there.
Thank you, Maria. That's a good point.
Absolutely. And to that point, because we all came together on StreamYard, this particular third-party streaming platform, the thing is that we need RTMP access even to school. That needs to be, Substack has already done it. And I think those fellas, I mean, they're really sharp, and I think it's going to happen. Because they're going to see how people like us can actually take it to the next level by doing so. Because
for the live stream, you talking about for the live stream being able to
because we can stream it to multiple destinations.
I don't think they're going to do it, because why would they want people to leave school? The whole point is to live stream
to bring them in. To bring them in, to bring them into school. Nope, I think you're wrong, because I saw commentary, and in the schoolers group, I saw commentary on that, because the bottom line is we send them to those destinations, but we know what's at those destinations. We've been there and done that. We know that to what level they're taking care of their people. And
like even if you, like to Barb's point, if you multi-stream this on YouTube and school, right, with RTMP, you could say at some point, hey, if you want to continue the conversation, come over to school, right? And then you shut the YouTube off. And that's something you could do right now in StreamYard. And I think, because ultimately you want to drive the traffic to where you want them to interact. And I think that is why, I mean, and that's kind of how I see Substack right now. Is like, yes, I'll go live on multiple platforms, but ultimately I want these people to come over to Substack. And if Substack adds, the API to where, as an example, using StreamYard or Ecamm, I could share the comments to screen, I wouldn't use some of these other platforms anymore. I would just go live on Substack.
I think those are great for marketing, for getting the information out there. Multi-streaming helps. But I think from a member of a community, it takes away the intimacy of being in a community, knowing that Madalyn's talking to 5 different places. As a member, it kind of feels
be like,
more
why
like a
join-
community.
Why would I join school if I can just watch this on her YouTube?
Yes,
Except
yes.
that
It
you
gives them a
still-
little special oomph.
Mhm. But you still have to market your community.
Yes,
To go.
yes.
We're here. We are talking about going
Right.
to school.
Both
Look at us
things.
marketers.
I mean, the way I'm doing it now that we have live stream in school is, because I could very well say, well, why do this live stream? I'm going to do it in school and to make everybody. It's like, no, none of this that I'm doing right here is going to change. This Thursday chat is still going to be on social media,
And it's
all
by
over the place.
accident this episode is so school focused.
Right.
This isn't just about school. Yeah.
Right.
Normally.
about community. Exactly. So, but I want to have, in addition to special things that are only going to be a live stream inside of school. It's like y'all are
Right.
special for being
Exactly.
in school. I mean, I get it, Barb, and
Both.
but they're so interested in minimalism that I don't know. I don't know if that's something that they, or at least not right away. But I see the point and all. But for me personally, I want whatever live streams I do in school is for the special people that are in school and to encourage others to come over to school. But if you're just trying to do like, well, now I don't have to, there are plenty of people right now in school are going, oh, now I don't have to do that live stream on Zoom or on YouTube or whatever I was doing. They're just all going to switch and just do it there. But that's not my strategy.
It'd be just as easy if you do a school live stream only for the community and take a little snippet of it and then float that around to TikTok, YouTube, wherever you want. And then say for the whole thing, go to school. It would work in that direction too.
And
If you didn't.
Rachel has a great point too, that if it's all in school, it's not being indexed by Google. Although will the public ones be? Because I mean, you can have it public, which means people can't post unless they join, but all the posts and all the content is public. I wonder if those are indexed by Google.
I'll look it up. I don't know.
All of mine are private. All of mine are private. Even though
But Rachel, you bring up a really good point too. One thing I've noticed about Substack, and so that's where I guess I'd be curious if your school is a part of that stack, is that
Not
Substack
yet.
is indexing your site. So like if I make a post on Substack, it's getting Google juice. Like my Substack, if I search for myself, my Substack's now on page 1 of Google, where before it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of stuff, even with Dealcasters, I think it's page 2, maybe page 1 now, because we created a Dealcaster Substack.
Perfect.
And so I think that's where I see that power of integrating them. And, because if people go to your Substack and it's like, oh, what's this tab about, school, and they click on it, now they have a chance to maybe, oh, I'm going to join this. This looks interesting.
Mm-hmm. Madalyn, I joined your Kratom community too.
I saw that. Thanks for joining. It's very active.
Yes,
very,
yes,
very
and
active.
I have friends that are totally into
I have
that
so much
subject. So
much information in the classroom section. I've really built it out over the last several years. There's so much helpful information. People are wanting to learn more about it.
yes,
We don't have time to do too much more today because we're already at the top of the hour, but let me just show you all a few things. So one of the things I wanted to play was Jim's so smart. So on his Substack, he made a video talking about school ads live streaming. So he posted this last Thursday, right after, because some of y'all may remember, after we did this StreamYard live stream on social, then we all went over to my school to go do a test of the new live stream feature. And
for
so
members only.
he has and he has a walkthrough. He made a little 3-minute video walking through. So I'll have it linked in the description here later, so if people want to get it. But here's he took a screenshot. So that's when we were testing it out last week. This was new for us, and it's just like a Zoom. We're all on the screen here talking. You got the controls at the bottom, just like Zoom, and there's a chat box, so you can also be chatting in the box there. And so I love this feature. I think it's great. It's just figuring out for those that have their own school communities, how can you make that work for you? But yeah, maybe next week we'll play that video since we didn't have time today.
I'm curious about the YouTube stuff next week too.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is just real quickly, not much time left on that, but if you're in our school community, let me put the link back up here to our social media and AI shortcuts on school, just school.com/Madalyn Sklar. I did a post yesterday, so it's in there. Don't have time to go through it now, but YouTube has all these updates. They've just unloaded like 20 to 30 new updates. I'm confused because one says 30 updates, another said 22, and these are all the YouTube influencers. So we'll just say 20 to 30. But anyway, if you go over to the post I did, these are all the videos. I love the little YouTube link feature when you do a school post. So I got them all in here. And so
I talked to about 80 creators.
You can click on each one of these to see, but lots and lots of helpful information. There's just not enough time to go through it.
Well, and Madalyn, and you're such a good curator of all of.
Uh-oh. She pressed the wrong button.
She said a bad word.
Boom.
Curator is a bad word.
I didn't mute her, but here she comes. She must have pressed something on her phone. I wanted to hear what she had, but I'm good at curating. When you go to our school page there, I do have lots of helpful information. There's, because it's like a forum, there's just so much info in here. So yeah, when I come across something, Rachel did a post just a little while ago. Have to go check that out on Amazon. She wrote about it in her weekly Substack. So check that out. So yeah, there's always lots, but here's the post I did on the new YouTube updates, and Barb's been posting stuff in here too, and Maria. So yeah, it's just a great way for us to stay connected outside of this weekly live stream, which we need to wrap up because I need to go. But any final thoughts? This is a great conversation. I love talking about community because it's something I've been doing since the mid 90s. I've been building online communities for a long time. It's a great way to bring people together using the internet, and it's working with what tools do we have? When you think back to the mid 90s, we didn't have social media. We didn't have live streaming. It was when I built my first community, it was a static web page and an email address. And that was it. And then over time, as things improved, like when the whole Yahoo groups, it was called something else first, like e-groups or something, turned into Yahoo groups. And that was in the 90s also. And it was like, it was like the bulletin boards, for those that remember old school, like the bulletin boards. It was just like that, but you did it through a Yahoo email, and somebody would join my group, and if I sent an email, it went to everybody that signed up in the group, and then if somebody replied, it went to the whole group. And that was a bear to moderate because you had to teach people, don't just hit reply and say thank you or something like just real generic, because it goes to everybody when you hit reply. Like you had to teach, and this was like very early on of like, what's this whole internet thing and what's this email thing? Like it was so new, a lot of people didn't even know how to do it. But that was community building back then. It's like, working with what you have. And when now in 2025, the tools we have at our disposal are incredible. It's just mind blowing. The live streaming, social media, all this stuff. Substack is amazing. Like there's so much we can be doing. So that's my final thought. Who else has a final thought? I don't want to be the last word.
I just think, I think you're really onto something with this, with the community building, kind of echoing what Barb said about how important it is to build community and to have that connection, to have that email. I think being able to go live and have conversations like we're doing inside of a community is extremely powerful, and not having to I got to get Zoom, and then you got to worry about security, you get the Zoom bombers and things like that. So I just think that, especially with the way things, I guess you could say, are in the world right now, to be able to know that you can speak freely to the people you want to speak to is a very important thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, how I take care of the Zoom bombers, I make you authenticate, so you have to be logged into your Zoom account. That's so I get it. But I love the conversation about community building and what's going on. I'm experimenting with school and Substack, and I'm watching a lot of what we're all doing. I'm checking all your accounts out. I hope I'm connected to all of you, but if not, connect with me and I'll connect back. I like to watch what all you do because I learn in the process. And I hope everyone who's watching this stream, all the Gen Xers and all the boomers, join us in this journey because, age is just a number. Come on, remember, some of you invented the internet. So let's get with it.
Well, losing Robert Redford this week really it took me hard, and it hit social media so hard. But when you come to think of it, he was productive right to the end. I mean, he was just going right to the end. So age is just a number. It's all in what you put into it. So I mean, I could be here after all I've seen happen, and I on the cancer thing didn't leave when they said, you got a week left. And it's like, I said, give me my computer. I can find the answer on the internet. and that's exactly what happened. So
Well, we're glad you're here because
Yeah, we're glad you're here.
you let me make this show about the Gen Xer and a boomer. So
the
you balance
80s
us
was
out.
all, yeah.
And when are we going to do that 80s?
We're gonna do that inside Social Media and AI Shortcut School because we can have the live stream in there, and I think we need to pick a good
That
day
needs
and
to be
time.
exclusive.
Just a Friday night. It's like we're going roller skating,
That was the Friday night thing to do in junior high. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's right.
The
I
roller
forgot
rink.
all about
It's
that.
like 8:00 at night, 9:00. Let's you bring your favorite Kool-Aid and let's go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a Go XLR here and I'm not using it to the max. That's a 80s term, to the max, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Very 80s.
Totally.
For sure.
Tubular.
Totally. Yeah, I guess let's go around the room and let's say, what's your favorite 80s term?
Tubular.
Come on, Madalyn.
Tubular.
I
Tubular.
Tubular. Okay, I haven't heard
was-
that one in a long time.
That was very 80s. It's so tubular.
Mine is to the max. Okay.
Yeah.
Jim?
That's a good one.
I don't know. I have to think about that.
Come on, pull out your valley.
That's so
top.
long ago.
It was.
I'm in California, so we still talk like that. So
Right.
totally awesome, dude. Like that's
Yeah.
regular talk.
That was awesome.
The movie Valley Girl. Remember that movie Valley Girl?
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Love that movie.
That's where
I
a
have-
lot of those came from. That movie.
Great soundtrack.
Barb, what's yours? Come on.
Oh, I had awesome was something that I said all the time, and bitching.
Yeah.
Oh God. I'd drive people up the wall when I did that.
Yeah. Awesome was a big one for me too.
Yeah. That's still a big one for me.
Yeah.
All right, I got to
that's-
check out. I got to
that's-
pick up some food.
All right,
So,
Baz. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, when you do awesome, that makes me think of Sean Penn in
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
yeah,
Fast
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I think.
Fast
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr.
Awesome.
Hand.
That's a great movie. I still remember watching that in the movie theater. I still can remember that.
Yep.
That was a good movie. All right, y'all. Always a great chat. We do this every Thursday. Thanks for those. We have a bunch of people here live. We appreciate it. We're live streaming all over the web. But come hang out with us at school too, because that's where the conversation continues. And it's always good stuff. So we'll be back here next Thursday to do it all over again. See y'all soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.